You guys remember social distancing, quarantines, 14-day isolations, social bubbles? Remember how alienating that was? How depressing that was to be separated from people? That's how lepers lived their entire lives. And so the question stands, well, where are they? Why didn't they come back to say thank you to Jesus? And what's more with leprosy is that it didn't just resolve on its own. There's only 2 accounts in the entire Old Testament where there's healing from leprosy, and one of them is in our first reading through the prophet Elisha. And leprosy, the healing of leprosy was seen to be a divine act, an act of God. So it's very obvious that these lepers that are healed, it's clearly God. God has healed them. And yet they still don't go back to say thank you. Why? I don't think it's because they didn't have faith. In the scriptures, it says clearly that they came to Jesus seeking healing. And they obeyed his command to go and see the priest. They had faith. And I don't think it's because they didn't feel grateful. I'm sure they felt very grateful to be reunited to their family and friends and to be reintegrated into society. The problem appears to be is that they didn't understand the full meaning of gratitude. They were appreciative for the benefits received, but they never said thank you. They never gave an expression to that gratitude. They were so focused on the gift that they received the benefit that they forgot to give thanks to the giver of that benefit. The Samaritan, on the other hand, Samaritans were actually even more estranged. He was almost a leper among lepers because the Jewish and people and the Samaritans didn't get along. And he knew his entire dependence on God. He knew he needed healing. He knew he needed everything. And when he was healed, he turned back to Jesus and gave praise to God, and he bowed down on the ground. He was recognizing the divinity of Jesus, the God who had healed him. He understood the full meaning of gratitude, not just recognizing the gift, but he was able to give thank you to the giver of that gift. He recognized that the full meaning of gratitude was to establish a relationship between the giver and the one who received the gift. And this was the whole reason that Jesus healed these lepers. He didn't just heal them so that they could enjoy their lives. Again, I'm sure he wanted that. I'm sure he was so glad about that. The reason he healed them was because he loved them and he wanted a relationship with them.